Smiles can be deceiving. Someone flatters you, creates just enough awkwardness that you don't push back, and talks you into a clearing or initiation or something you barely understand, while their help is actually harming you. You want the truth? Check your dreams. They show what's really happening and who's doing it. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. We are excited you are here for another week of what's going on in our dreams.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and souls on their earth journey. That's you. You are a soul on an earth journey. You probably figured it out by now. And your dreams are the last bastion from the spirit world back to you to help guide you. It's all in your dreams. And our first series of dreams are actually very strong.
Yeah, and so it is a lot of short dreams, but they are very potent. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say, Michael. So the first one starts with a canary sitting next to scrambled eggs. Okay, a canary is warning for coal miners. This is obvious, a warning about scrambled gifts, question mark. All right, Michael.
You added in that question mark. This is really good for Alex to pick this up. I loved the fact that she sent this whole series of dreams. It is so beautiful. We've been saying things on the show like this is how to tell when something's off. And one of the strange things that eggs can represent is a gift, but it's usually in a particular context. Often it's like the eggs are inside a hotel room in the center of the room. And usually in these dreams that we see them in, people are breaking into the hotel room and sneaking them or eating them. So it's not the normal thing at all. But in this dream, the canary sitting next to scrambled eggs. So the canary, like she says, is a warning for a coal miner. So it's a warning. That's what the dream is really about. And then the fact that the eggs are scrambled is like your gifts are being tampered with. And that's really the main thing that people want from us. And I say people because it's not the spirit world. The spirit world doesn't go, I need the humans. It's other humans. Other people are your nemesis in this field who have learned how to do something, and they do very bad things to people through what they do. And they can build up a phenomenal amount of power from doing these things and really mess you up. And they don't care about that. They really don't. It's just you're the product. The abilities that you have are what they're after. Even if you don't know you have them. That's really the thing. So you could have a special ability to do something. Maybe your special ability is to check others and see what gifts they have. And they're like, oh, that would be a good one for me because then I can very quickly check other people and see and then I know who else to go after. We have many abilities that we bring with us because they're just part of who we are, but we don't necessarily use them here and they get us in trouble. First dream, though, pretty much sums up where it's all going. This is a warning.
Yep. All righty. Next dream. We move on to several dreams where one particular tall and unbelievably gorgeous man appears. I'm very aware that he keeps popping into every dream. He is gorgeous in every way except he has a very ugly mouth and a speech impediment that makes him almost impossible to understand. I catch glimpses of this, but he turns away and is able to make his mouth appear normal again. I don't know if he knows I noticed.
So, not good. Now, here's the thing. Tall people in our dreams are typically guides. We say that all the time. But here, this person is wearing a mask, and this dreamer is able to see it. So she can see the warning signs. That's why the canary shows up in her dream. She can tell when something's off. And she's been attacked herself. She knows how bad it can get. She's been on the receiving end of this stuff. Most people will never be on the receiving end of it. Most people will just get used and abused and be blissfully unaware that that's even happening to them, let's say spiritually. But she's aware of it. So not only are guides typically very tall in dreams, they're also gorgeous, incredibly good looking. Whether they're a man or a woman, regardless of your sexual preference, you would be absolutely stunned with the beauty. So the fact that this character is trying to look this way, tries to fix his mouth so that it looks normal again, is a bad thing. Now, we talked about it on a show recently. In fact, it became one of our more popular shows, How to Spot the Mask. And this is it. He's wearing a mask and it shows up in the dream. Anyway, anything else, Sandy?
Yeah, so the fact is very gorgeous, except for a very ugly mask. Is that the sign that she saw and the speech impediment?
Not an ugly mask, an ugly mouth. Something is ugly about him. Something's not right. He's trying to put on this appearance of, look at me, I am beautiful, but I'm not. I'm really ugly. Again, the point is interesting. The further down the chain you are in terms of nefarious and really dark and evil and so on, if you see those people on the other side and see who they really look like or who they play with in the playground, let's say, the characters that they play with are really grotesque. It's horrible. It's very, very disgusting. But if you're trying to trick somebody, you're going to want to hide that. And that's why you're going to have a mask that is like, hey, I think this is working. I'm getting away with this. I'm in the lion's den and nobody notices that I'm up to no good.
Very good. Okay, we're going to continue on. Beside him is an autistic boy who is desperately trying to get my attention to a drug he needs to get called Perceval. Pun on perceive evil? Question mark. He's very clearly spells it out for me so I get the right thing. Meanwhile, the gorgeous man goes in the basement and starts stealing contact paper that he says he needs in order to cover the rest of the windows. That right there would be a red flag for me.
Oh, yeah, of course. And what's interesting about autistic kids with Down syndrome, if you can channel, you can talk to them, you can see what's going on for them. They're living a very spiritual life on the inside. Things get them. Their ability to perceive what's going on in the spirit world never goes away. And their ability to perceive everything around them doesn't go away. They don't filter down. Like we can drive a car and be on automatic and drive all the way home and go, oh, I don't even really remember driving. That's not their life. Their life is everything is on, all the data and inputs are coming to them all the time. And so this autistic kid, he shows up later in waking life. That's what really makes this dream interesting. But he talks about this Perceval character, and she knows in the dream it's a pun on perceiving evil. We talk about puns every so often. Every dream has one, but this is a really, really good dream. And he's pointing out that there's a problem. And if somebody autistic is pointing it out, it's got to be much more authentic coming from them because they have no malice in them. They're going to tell you what they're seeing on their screens or internally within their own systems. Systems that we all have, but we pay no attention to them. Or some of us can because we develop and learn how to use our abilities. Anyway, the gorgeous man goes into the basement stealing contact paper. So it's contacts. I mentioned that before. If I get you, then I will also try get all your other contacts. And I don't want people to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and mask what's going on inside you. So covering the windows is also not a good thing at all. But we already know this character's bad. So let's keep going.
All righty. We continue on. The gorgeous man goes on to appear in a bunch of other dreams that night. I finally ask, what's going on? And have the following dream. So here we go.
Yeah, now there's a trigger warning here. So we've reworded it a little bit, so it mightn't be too bad. So over to you, Sandy.
I'm in a locker room, and the most incredibly ugly fat man is standing there naked. He has an enormous fat pregnant belly like a ledge. It's so big. His belly button is shaped like a nipple. He's disgusting looking. He has a tiny little manhood. He is saving all of his seed to be used later. I run like hell down the hall as he follows me. I get into a living room and I yell that everybody needs to get out now. All right, Michael.
Okay, so here's what this person doesn't know. This is the second person who has contacted us and said, I know what this character is actually like, the one that is attacking people. And they both described this pregnant looking short man about 4 foot tall. Totally the opposite of what it would be if it was really, truly a being in the light. Like I said, they're always gorgeous. It's not like there's a bias. They choose to look good. That is how we perceive them. There is no blemish. They are pure. They are whatever. And so we perceive them with this beauty. And anything that's the opposite, we're going to perceive in this way. They can't hold any other real form. So we know, oh, this is not good. This is somebody I shouldn't be around. So not really good. But this is really what's going on. And that's why we talked about at the start of the show. If somebody is tricking you into doing something, how do you know if it's any good? Like, is it really good for me? Because a lot of us want to improve our connection to source, improve our channeling, improve the use of our gifts, our connection to God, or whatever it is, you name it. We're generally all in it to improve ourselves in some way. And then hopefully at some point we get to a level where we're like, I think I could help other people too. And so if somebody says, look, I can do this and it's going to help you to achieve your goal, and you're like, okay, I'm going to try it. What have I got to lose? Well, this series of dreams shows you what you've got to lose. Lots. Somebody's going to smash your gifts, scramble your gifts, and really scramble is a good way to put it, because even if you have the ability to perceive all this and you realize somebody's messing with your channel and you got to go clear it, if your gifts are scrambled for that period of time, you can't clear yourself. You need to get somebody else to do it. Any questions, Sandy, or we'll just go? I see you shuddering because it's like, this is horrible.
I would have woke up screaming on this one. That would have been not a good dream. Okay, so in another dream, I'm hacking apart fake plastic plants in order to use the stems as foghorns to alert people. What do you think of that?
In her case, she's like, what do I do? Can I tell people? Because if you tell people when you know what's going on, you could end up in court because the person is like, you are defaming me in some way. So you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And so that's her question. What do I do? Can I tell people? And so this series of dreams say, yes, you can. And in fact, when it shows up in a dream like this, you have to. But not necessarily that you go publicly on the air and say, hey, everybody, this person's bad. But if people come to you and ask you, you definitely have permission, because clearly that's what these dreams are about.
Okay, in another dream, I'm on an airplane and I'm handed the intercom mic to make an announcement. They tell me it's imperative that I make an announcement. Oh, Michael, I think that's a bit obvious.
Yeah, precisely. So it's like you have to. You're being told, you're given this, you need to tell other people. Sad, yeah, but true.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that was just one night. Night 2 and 3 of the dreams were just as strange. So this was all a series of dreams in one night. Woo! Let's hope she got the meaning of them.
Oh, she did. She had the meaning typed in parts when she sent it in. She's trained by us. We've talked about these things on the show before. We haven't named anybody. And from her dreams, she was able to come back to us and say, I know who it is and I know what it is. And with a clarity that she couldn't get from anywhere else. But this is true for all of us. Our dreams warn us about people. They warn us about things that we're doing, even innocent things that we might be doing. Like, I want to learn how to use a particular gift. And our dreams are saying, that's not on your path. Why are you even doing it? It's not going to help anybody. And as the human, we're going, well, if I learn to be a counselor and I help counsel people, I'm helping people. But if it's not part of your purpose, you're not helping anybody, because there's nobody lined up for you to help. The things that you do in life must be on your path. And if they're not on your path, then it's a total waste of you even coming here. And if you don't like being here, don't do the things that you're not meant to do while you're here, and at least do everything that you are meant to do. And here's just one thing to finish with. Remember that so much of Jesus's ministry was expelling demons from people. It's all over the Bible, yet most people ignore it today. But it's very, very true. It's a huge part of issues that people have on the earth plane. So I'm going to add this little piece. These are the notes from Alex. She says, the plot thickens. In waking life yesterday, a friend called saying she had the strangest dream. She sends it. It's an infiltration dream. And I asked her what she had done recently. She said the day before she had listened to a particular podcast and others were listening to it with her, including somebody who's autistic. And the autistic person, got an instant headache, pointed to the computer screen and said that there's something wrong with that person. They're bad, not even giving the gender away. And this then showed up in Alex's dream before she even knew this had gone on. It's like a sledgehammer to make sure that she gets the point of all of these dreams. The waking life autistic kid pointing out that there's something up here. And like I said, they have a radar for these types of things. And then backing up that what she had found out in her own dream. So anyway, that's it. She says, Michael and Sandy, I'm sure you're probably already aware of who the suspect is in this case and that they're not who they appear to be. And I hope that this isn't the next contagious pandemic. So she hasn't lost her sense of humor. But this is something that I channeled on recently. And I think we've said it on the show before. One of the issues that the spirit world has is that we come here, we wake up, or at least we think we wake up, and we learn to use gifts, but we're not fully tuned in and switched on. And we let ourselves get infiltrated. We let a walk-in come in and take over us. And then the very people that we set out to help, we're damaging them. And they said, yeah, we know this happens. Light workers come here, and light workers have a trigger warning system that tells them something is up. They just feel wrong. They know something is wrong. Not everybody has that. Now, you can be trained in how to add particular rituals and clearings to your morning routine to check yourself, and they work. So the point is, they know it's going to happen, and they know people are going to get duped. And we've talked about this on the show before, but they said we make a lesson out of that. We make training out of that. So the person involved is not going to be duped forever. You're not immortal here. And when this life ends, in your life review, you're going to learn from all the things that you did wrong. You're going to learn about how you got tricked. Or if you're the one that's done all the tricking, that's going to be very unpleasant for you. Because like I said, some people do it, but they're not even aware that they're doing it. They're being duped themselves by a nefarious spirit on the other side. Or often it's a nefarious human here who's pretending to be a spirit on the other side that tricks them. They make it a learning lesson for everybody. And they said it all works out in the end. So we don't really need to worry about it. And I'm only saying that because Alex says, like, is this going to be the next pandemic? It's just part of what it is. And it's very unfortunate. And I've often said it's a shame that there isn't an equivalent of the Hogwarts defense against the dark arts. Like, that would be great if it's here. It's something that we have added to Aisling School over the years. And I don't think people realize how seriously important it is to have it in your tool chest to be able to check yourself and clear yourself. And another thing that I have to say, this a big mistake an awful lot of people make is they think because they work in the spiritual field and they look at somebody else and they can see that they're infiltrated, they try to clear them. You should never do that unless you have the skill, like the gift for doing that. And you're told by God or some other being in the light that you should be doing this. You're an absolute idiot if you try to do it because you just become the next target. Anyway, I didn't hold my words back there.
No, you did very good. But one of the things I wanted to point out is that in the intro, you said they smile and they try to do clearings for you or healings on you or something else. And in all of her dreams, this person, all he is doing is showing up, sneaking around. So you want to talk a little bit about that, people being friendly. And then if you try to say something to confront them, because you really can't confront them, can you?
Well, of course you could, but you have to deal with the consequences of confronting them. So if they're a friend, you're going to lose the friend. And that may be okay. But, you know, sometimes there's other situations and other dynamics involved. That means you can't do that. But really what's going on here is they're showing her what's happening to the people who go through this ritual that this other person is doing. This is the being that's doing the damage. Coming into everybody that is affected, messing with them, scrambling their gifts and hiding, using contact paper to cover the windows. Like that is blocking other people's ability to even see into you that something is going on. So not good. I mean, yeah. Did I cover it enough?
I think so. And I think the dreams were very potent. I loved how clear they were. All right, we're going to move on and start a new dream by Kay. And this one's titled, Trevor Loses His Wand. Trevor.
I have to say this. You know why I picked that name. So we changed names on purpose. But when I got to America first, I bought a phone and I kept getting phone calls from everywhere, like Sears, banks. This guy, Trevor, who had the number before me, was opening up lines of credit everywhere. And then they were calling to say, hey, you're late on your payment. And I don't know how many of those calls I got every week. So it's my go-to name if I want to put out this person annoys me. I'm going to use Trevor. So if your name's Trevor and you're a nice person out there, I apologize. It's not about you.
All righty. It's back to Trevor Loses His Wand. Trevor was someone important at a celebration of some sort with a lot of people. It was like he had organized it. Then he left the celebration and was walking down a long, steep staircase/ladder that was attached to a wall. Seems like it was metal. seemed to be in a dark area. As he was walking down the staircase/ladder, someone at the top pulled the staircase from the wall and made Trevor fall. He fell long and hard. Afterwards, he said he was disappointed because he lost his wand in the fall and he had worked hard to get that one. Now he didn't have one. Wow, Michael, this is not a change of subject, I don't think. Sounds like we were talking about the same stuff.
I pulled in another couple of dreams that match the topic, but they're not as bad. So this is where, like, she knows the real guy. So he's somebody that is dark, does cause people problems. And she's like, is he affecting me? And the answer is no. But by putting him in the dream, they're able to tell you, hey, there's something up. You need to look, because you wouldn't want this guy actually showing up in your dreams. Because if he's around, something bad's going to happen. But when I channeled that anyway, him losing the wand was really, really good. Trevor's the stand-in, so somebody else did it. Someone else who had connected into case field and had then created a connection from her back out, from her heart chakra back out to somebody else. And that's what the connection from the wall is. So This is one of the tricks that they can do. So if somebody else looks at you, you look fine. They're like, everything looks fine. There's nothing coming into you. The first part of our channeling class, we teach people how to clear any incoming connections. We don't usually find negative outgoing connections. So this is quite a sophisticated attack that somebody can do. They get into you, they make the connection from you back out to themselves, and then they leave you. And then to anybody looking who's able to do it, everything looks fine. But the dream tells her, you need to scan yourself. Something is up here. I think she says also it was a dark area. Yeah. So
she does.
So again, that's not a good thing to see in a dream. Somebody going down, think of it this way. We connect up to the light. So when somebody's going down what looks like a well or whatever, or down below the earth's surface, that is a horrible thing to see in a dream. So in this context, because Trevor is going down into a dark area, and we know this is a negative connection. Instead of connecting up to God, you're connecting down into wherever else you want to say that people are going. But this downward connection, lower vibration, is where I'm really from. And now that I've got into you and I've set up my connection, I'm leaving and going back to my lower vibration. That's the way to put it. So he lost his wand. That's good. He lost his access. And when I channeled on it too, they said it was actually dealt with. So this dream shows it's dealt with, and they won't be able to do it again. The person that attacked her can't do it again. That's what losing the wand is about. That specific route is closed off. So what I told her to do is, as part of your normal clearing, run a connection sweep as part of that. Ask, are there any incoming or outgoing connections to me, or any incoming or outgoing connections to my chakras, and then deal with the outgoing ones. She has the ability to clear outgoing ones herself. I think most people do, because we can establish and clear those ourselves. So let's move on. We say all the time that if you have not done anything about a dream, you will get more dreams telling you the same thing. The path to spiritual growth is to act on your dreams. If you're not acting on your dreams, you're not doing what your higher self wants you to do. So you're not growing spiritually, or at least not at any speed, no matter what you think. Now, what if you're doing something that is spiritual, but you don't know what your dreams mean? Well, if it is the right thing, it will still be showing up in your dream symbolically as the right thing. You just need to be in sync with your life purpose and your higher self by whatever means you can do that. Dreams are the best, because even with channeling, you need to know what to ask. But with dreams, you're just told flat out, here's what's going on. And that's what we're demonstrating in this show. So this following dream came to Kay on a different night earlier, and she hadn't met me yet. So we expect it to be about the same thing, but we don't expect it to be cleared like the following dream says.
Alrighty, the title of this dream is I'm Always Precise on Timing, and it's by Kay. At an airport with some folks, both male and female, I noticed many of us had flights that were connecting. Mine went to Honduras. I thought that was odd. I wondered out loud if they practiced voodoo there. Then there were two couples that needed to be rebooked, and the flight attendants moved their flights to the morning, so they'd have a full day at their layover destination. The ladies were excited and were hurrying up the men. I was saying I wouldn't be late because I was very precise on timing.
All right, this dream is about connections. Now, remember, her last dream, the one we just looked at, was about connections that somebody had put into her. So here we see the connections in a different symbolic way. It's not about travel. It's about everyone having connecting flights. That's the guide's way of flagging energetic connections. It's a status check about connections between you and others rather than literal travel. The Honduras and voodoo is a pointer, not geography. It's a dream's way of saying this connection carries intended negative consequences for you. Not good at all. And I asked her about Honduras, like, do people practice voodoo there? And she didn't know. So it's just kind of funny. But she knew voodoo is not something she would ever like. But the intended, somebody's doing it on purpose to you, like, that's never nice to hear. But so they made it obvious in the dream. The dream uses loud symbols, airports, connections, voodoo, to get you to run this connection audit right now, just like the guides in the dream are doing, the ticket agents. So again, I think we can wrap it up there because we're out of time. But isn't it amazing how we see this innocent dream about flights and connections, but thrown in the reference to voodoo? And then the previous dream, which came after it in time, looked okay, except it had a character in it that she knows is dark, that would do something like voodoo on her. Anyway, that's it, Sandy. We're out of time.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a fabulous week. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, good luck sleeping after this show. Bye.